In the heart of the city, four strangers lived in the same upscale apartment building, yet had never spoken. They passed each other in elevators, crossed paths in the lobby, and sometimes stood next to one another in line at the cafe downstairs. Each carried invisible baggage, pain, dreams, regrets, but none of them knew the others were just as lost. There was Ethan Cole, a cold, ambitious investment banker whose fiancée had recently left him, calling him emotionally unavailable. Lena Moore, a quiet, enigmatic psychiatrist with a haunted past she kept under lock and key. Ryan Blake, a charismatic photographer who burned with energy, but hid a trail of heartbreaks behind his charming grin. And Sophie Bennett, a cheerful, quirky college student secretly caught in an engagement arranged by her powerful, controlling family. One stormy night, a power outage trapped the four of them in the building's elevator. With emergency lights flickering and cell service down, the silence became unbearable. Ryan, never one to let boredom settle, suggested something absurd. "What if we shuffle our love lives?" They laughed. It was insane. But the idea stuck. They would each date someone from the group for 1 week. The goal wasn't to fall in love, it was to rediscover love. To learn from one another's heartbreaks and joys. 30 days. 4 people. No real feelings allowed, no pasts discussed. And when it ended, they'd never speak of it again. In the first week, Ethan and Sophie were paired. Ethan was all logic and finance, but Sophie, with her bright smile and spontaneous adventures, threw him off balance. She dragged him to street food festivals and taught him how to lose at claw machines. Under her light, he began to unfreeze. But he saw cracks in her, too, when she stared at her engagement ring with hollow eyes. One night, he found her weeping silently on a park bench. She apologized, but he didn't press. Something had shifted. The next week brought Lena and Ryan together. He flirted playfully, she remained unreadable. But during a nighttime stroll, he caught a glimpse of faint scars on her wrist. He didn't comment, but his teasing softened. He brought her to abandoned rooftops for photoshoots and introduced her to night swimming. She began sketching again, her secret passion. One morning, Ryan woke up to find a drawing on his doorstep, him sleeping, surrounded by glowing fireflies. There was no name, but he knew. Then came Ryan and Sophie. On the surface, they were a perfect match, vibrant, joyful, full of laughs. But one night, after too many drinks, Sophie broke. She told him the truth, her family was forcing her into marriage to save their company. Ryan's smile vanished. In a moment of anger, he shattered a glass in his hand. "Run," he whispered. "Run away from all of it." She smiled through her tears. "If only I could." Finally, Ethan was paired with Lena. The atmosphere was cool, tense. But Ethan saw through her quiet. She challenged his need for control, his emotional armor. One night, at a jazz bar, he surprised her by playing the piano. She looked stunned, as though she'd seen a ghost. Later, she told him the truth. Her fiancé had died in a plane crash, one Ethan's company had invested in. She had known who he was from the beginning. That was why she joined the shuffle. Ethan left without saying a word. And then, it ended. They all drifted apart. Ethan quit his job. Sophie disappeared from school. Ryan left for Paris. Lena stopped taking patients. 6 months later, each of them received an identical black envelope. You thought the shuffle ended. But hearts don't follow schedules. Come back to where it began. One final night. One final truth. Each envelope contained a key. They returned to the rooftop of their building. There, inside the elevator, were 4 glasses of wine and a leather-bound notebook titled Love Shuffle. Inside were handwritten entries, one for each week. Ethan confessed he'd fallen for Sophie's resilience, her spirit. Lena admitted that Ryan had made her feel alive again. Ryan revealed he had truly loved Sophie, but knew she was never his to keep. But Sophie's page was missing. A projector flickered on. A video began to play. It was Sophie, sitting in front of the sea. If you're watching this, it means I did it. I walked away. I'm free. I couldn't choose between you, so I chose myself. But I loved you all in different ways. This wasn't just a game. It was the beginning of who I really am. Silence followed. Then laughter. Then tears. A year later, things had changed. Ethan now ran a small jazz bar in a coastal town, playing piano each night. Lena's artwork had become known around the world. Her exhibit was titled The Shuffle. Ryan returned from Paris with a gallery of photographs called Shuffled Hearts. And Sophie. She was never found. Some say she's traveling Europe, others claim she writes novels under a pen name. But in Ethan's jazz bar, in the corner by the window, there's a photo framed in soft gold. 4 glasses of wine. A glowing elevator. And beneath it, a single line. Sometimes, to find true love, you have to lose it in the shuffle.